Wrath, what's wrong?
We have to find out who the threat to this realm is. We can't ignore this murder.
Well, that can wait for later. Let's do something else right now.
Okay.
The witches have always been the enemy of these 7 realms. We have to prepare for the attack.
Oh, I can't even concentrate. I need you now. I need you now!
Oh, this damn prophecy.
Forget the prophecy. Let's talk about that later. Come on. Come on.
Okay, we have a little time. I have to break this curse. I want your heart to be fully mine.
Oh, that's fully yours, and so is something else.
These trees are so lovely.
Oh, I can't think about the trees. I need to lick you from head to toe right now.
Oh, Wrath.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joe.
And I'm Mary.
And we're Book Buds. And today, Mary is going to tell us about Kingdom of the Feared by Kerri Maniscalco, the 3rd book, right?
Yes. So we read the first 2 of these together. You've read both of them. The first one we really enjoyed.
Loved the first one.
Kingdom of the Wicked.
Yeah.
And I think it's my favorite book by the author of all of the books. I've read all of her books at this point.
Yeah.
And then the second one took a much more sexual turn, right?
Yeah, and it just pulled from the story. It was kind of, but the second one was like they never actually did it, right?
But there was a lot of provocative stuff where you thought they did, and then it wasn't, like it was like a dream or something like that.
So it was like hanging in the balance there. It irritated me.
Yeah, it irritated Joe, but I was there for it because I do read stuff like that. It was just that was not where book 1 was, right?
Yeah.
So that was the step that book 2 took. Book 3 has totally jumped over into like erotic fantasy completely. As you can tell by our scene, it was just like every time you turn around, they were having sex. They were attacking each other. It was like, oh, we have a little bit more time for our private time when like the world's gonna burn down around them, you know? So really, this series started somewhere else, is completely at a different point at this point.
Yeah.
I liked the book. If I went into it saying like, I feel like reading an erotic fantasy, it was a good book. But other than that, it did not fit with the other stories. I loved the story before. The story got lost. The characters I really loved. Wrath was such a great character. And in this Kingdom of the Feared, he was just a blank sexual being. He like completely lost his persona. There was none of the banter that they had in the first book or anything like that. It was just all about sex.
This is very risky for this author. Like, if she wanted to eventually go there with her writing career, like, I feel like she should have just started anew. Like, why are you going to do this to these characters that, like, we know and, like, we liked the first book, like the second book. Like, it's weird to me how she did this.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed in that.
Yeah. So it is disappointing. I enjoyed the story. I liked reading it, but it's not where I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
And she's also inconsistent with some of her characters. Like we've got a character that we think is bad. And then I'm telling you, like, it was like, I don't know, the switch must have happened in a paragraph. And all of a sudden they were like, oh, they're good. And they're completely on my side. And I was like, wait, they hated them a second ago. And I wanted to page back and be like, what did I miss? But I was like, I don't really care.
So how were the other brothers, like the Princes of Hell?
They were so interesting in the other books. Each one had like greed and lust, and they were really well defined. They lost their definition as well.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm sorry.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. So overall, like, it was a disappointing change in this book.
I have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did she keep up with like the Italian culture and food in this book?
Barely. I think cannolis were mentioned once. So I was like, oh, yay, cannoli. And then there was like one time that she was working in the kitchen, maybe making like a bean something spreading on a cracker. I don't know. And she was like, oh, I remember I used to cook. And I was like, yes, I remember you used to cook too.
Right.
So there was one scene where she was like, I do like doing this.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, it's like derailed from book 1.
That hurts.
Yeah. But the storyline that's there, like there's different family members that have certain roles that have changed, that you get a different perspective of from book 1. And you're like, oh my God, this is the way they were acting in book 1. And it was all like a false thing. And the potential for like really greatness was there. It was just all that sex like that had to dominate kind of chopped away at the coolness of the story, And
do we think that this is going to continue, this series?
I'm trying to remember how it ended, if it was left in a way that it felt like it could continue. I feel like the way it resolved at the end, I felt like their story was done, but it was possible that she would have taken the story of somebody else. She had a lot of other characters. She certainly could do a spin-off. Maybe those will be erotic fantasy spin-offs. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. If this is the end of the story, like, I'd like to have an end and just start anew with something else for her, you know? Yeah.
And would you continue reading her new books that come out?
I don't know, because I've liked all of her books. They've just all been so different, you know? So I might read it again just to be curious, because let's face it, when somebody disappoints us, it's because of our expectations. It's not her fault. I had an expectation of her writing that wasn't met. She chose to write this story a totally different way, you know? Like, that's allowed. She's allowed to write different things. So I'd be curious to see what else she writes. I like her enough as an author. I just don't know what I'm going to get. You know, I have to lower my expectations for whatever it is that I'm going to get, and just be prepared to be reading anything from the next book that she writes. Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense. I don't like that. Like, I feel like, she could write whatever she wants, but if you're setting out to do a series, like, didn't anybody advise her, oh, you're veering a little bit to the left with this, you're going in a completely different direction, your fans that have found you might not particularly enjoy this.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, she lost me.
Yeah, I know. This is not a Joe book. The first book was absolutely a Joe book. We both really enjoyed it.
So good.
So that's kind of a shame. Yeah. The consistency is important. So if she, as a writer, can do her next series with consistency, that would be awesome. I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I was a little rough on this author here, but I mean no disrespect. I'm curious how you guys feel about this series if you've read all three. Let us know what you've been thinking about it.
If you're enjoying Book Buds, give us a thumbs up.
And share us with your friends.
And subscribe to our channel, Book Buds!
Wow, are these guys readers or actors? Are they freaking kidding me with these bloopers?
Beth, what's wrong?
We have to find out who the threat to this realm is. We just have to. Hold on. Oh, how do you people do this shit?
With long hair? Well, you have facial hair for it to get stuck in. It's
like don't stick it more!
It's Velcro. I could never.
It's not gonna work. Okay.
Raph, what's wrong?
We have to find out who the threat to this realm is.
I changed my tone. It was so different.
Raph, what's wrong? All I want to do is bone you.
I threw myself off. Okay.
We're terrible actors.
Okay.
Oh, this fucking hair.
Okay.
I'm still thinking about your last. You're like. I did not expect that. That was hysterical. Yours, and so is something else. Your face! Your face! I'm gonna pass out.
I need to grab your pocket. It's like I'm controlling you. Okay, I think I should say, the sky is so pretty today, and you just need to say, we need to fuck now.
For real?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so surprised at you.
That'll be like the last one, right?
You're getting explicit on Book Buds.
Well, that's what this book is all about.
And what's my line?
You could say, who cares about the trees? We have to fuck. I want to fuck you. Or I need to lick you. Something like that.
Oh my God. We're like school kids. We can't do this. Fuck you. I was like, whoa, we really saying that? Mom's watching.
It's true.